A lot of people felt it was important to show what's going on in our country, and people were very generous in allowing me into their lives at a very difficult time. This is John Moore, and I'm a staff photographer for Getty Images. A lot of people have moved down the economic ladder. I really thought it was one of the most important stories of our time in any part of the world, because what happens when the U.S. goes into recession, it happens all over the world. And as the richest country in the world, I thought it was important to show how so many of us aren't that rich at all, and how our safety net is so full of holes. I've been sort of humbled at how open people have been to allow me into their lives. I usually was given an address by the sheriff's department, and I would meet a deputy outside of a house. And then we would go in to that house basically at the same time. He would knock on the door, the resident would come to the door and answer, and he'd say, "I'm here with a court order to evict you from your home." When you're being evicted from your home and everything you own is being put out on the street, it's a tough time. A lot of people are really confused over the law, and it fell to the county governments to try and educate people on how to stay in their homes. At these events, people would sit in the audience and take part in these workshops, and basically while they were waiting their turn to negotiate with bankers. A lot of people who were not educated in the ways of mortgages and home buying took mortgages they should have never taken. In this image, the homeowner and bankers are discussing ways to reduce the amount that she pays every month. As you can see, she wasn't very happy with what she was hearing. I traveled to Los Angeles for what was known as the biggest free health clinic in the United States. Some 10,000 people came to get free services. This mother and her daughter came and stayed overnight, knowing that the clinic wasn't going to open until 5 a.m. And they got their number, and then they slept outside and waited until sunrise. These free clinics help a lot of people. When you don't have any access to health care at all, coming to one of these events and getting treated takes you out of pain for a while. Even people who do have decent health care coverage often don't have dental coverage. Whether it's children or adults, when you've got bad teeth, you can't really function. One of the most desperate demographics in terms of health care and lack thereof is the U.S. immigrant population. Luckily, there's some NGOs, some nonprofits, who dedicate themselves to helping people like Carlos. He had a freak accident. As I was photographing him there in bed, his sons came up and all climbed on and just started hugging him. And it almost brought tears to my eyes as I was there standing on a chair. A lot of the food banks have really struggled to get enough food to feed everyone in need. For people who've moved down this economic ladder and find themselves in poverty, it's not that they can't get food, it's that they can't get fresh food. A lot of people who would never be in line at a soup kitchen find themselves there with their family, with their kids, just trying to get something to eat. You know, we've seen millions of people move from the middle class into the poorer, which has really been striking. I've been to many job fairs in the last 2 years. I see a lot of the same people, maybe even 6 months, a year later. They're still trying. They're still coming back. They haven't lost hope, and they think that getting there early is going to give them a better shot at a job, and they'll arrive 5 hours early and just stand there. The U.S. Army has done really well. That's the level of desperation we have right now, where people who would have never considered the military are willing to go and die to get a job.